What's up, ladies and gentlemen? It's Brendan, I'm X-Antibody, and today we're coming at you with another video. It is Friday morning, and we have our market analysis for the Digimon TCG, like we always do every week, same time, same place. We're looking at Digimon card prices, we're looking at how the market's changed, how it's fluctuating, what's good to buy, what's good to sell, and just generally what's going on with the market. We do have a little bit of news out of the Latham region, or not regionals, nationals, which I think all I know is that the top two decks were purple hybrid. So we're not going to look at purple hybrid cards. We already know those cards are expensive. But we're going to look at a lot of the cards. We're going to break down some further break down some EX8 cards that I think are changing depending on certain decks that are currently in the meta, as well as things are entering. And we're going to look at a lot of hype for 2.5, because 2.5 has some new information in it. So we're going to get into this, and we're going to take a look at it. And hey, if you enjoy this type of content, be sure to smash that like button, comment down below. We love to hear your thoughts. Subscribe to the channel and hit that bell for notifications so you don't miss a single minute of the fun. All right, well, let's get into it here. And we're starting with Chase Gallantmon X-Antibody. It has dropped a lot in price. It's still expensive, though. This is one of the best Chase cards. Medieval is also really good, too. They're both around $400, but this one here has a market price of $496. So you might be able to get $450 for it. The best Chase card. Yeah, it's just, if you got these, you need to sell them, because it has gone down. It was around $6 to begin with. I don't know if it's sold for any higher than that. I mean, I guess we could look at the sales data here. 450, 400. Looks like we've had some, basically 400, right around 400 is the lowest it's sold at. 600 was the highest. So yeah, it just depends. And then looking at another Chase card. This one here, unfortunately, I was not able to sell yet. Nobody's interested in my Metal Seadramon low pull rate, but it is tanked, so I'm not going to be able to get as much for that. I was hoping, potentially to get between 2 and 3. And now, the last solds were $350 for the longest time. But now a couple of them sold at $150, so people are hawking those out cheap. So, I'll be lucky if I could get a little bit like $200 for it, but lucky if I can get $150 for it, because people will say, oh, it's going to go down even more. Although right now there's only one copy at $130. And it looks like, is it near mint? I don't know if it's near mint. Yeah, it looks like it's near mint. So this could go down even more. But right now it's sitting around $150 for Metal Seadramon. This is kind of the next best one, other than the two that I mentioned, and then all the other ones are like under 100. Really sad set for low pull rates. Foil War Growlmon is the best selling foil. We're looking at it here. It was actually down around $10. It's now up almost 30. So I'm glad I got mine for super cheap. So it has actually gone quite up. So if you didn't get these, you're paying a lot for them now. Whereas the Growlmon, which was the one people were, this is the second best one, but it was sitting around $30. So it's actually come down a little bit. We're seeing at 25. I don't think it'll head down much more. Maybe you get down to $20, but I think this is a comfortable place that people need to ask themselves if they can buy this. Luckily, I actually got mine for 25. People were selling them for 30, and I was offering 25, and people just wanted to get rid of them before the price died down. So I actually got a pretty decent deal on these. So yeah, $25. Medieval Gallantmon has eclipsed Gallantmon X-Antibody, and we'll see that one in the next picture. It's up there at $75. I got mine, before this happened. I kind of felt like people were talking about this card. I felt like it was going to be something that people could splash into a lot of decks, and I think it was actually in that purple hybrid deck. The guy put this in his purple hybrid deck, so that was kind of interesting. I mean, I guess if you can get up to, if you can suspend 2 Digimon and play it for 7, it's like an ace card, and with hybrid you can definitely get up to that many. So yeah, no, and plus the alliance and vortex and stuff like that. Yeah, so it's pretty good, and just another good slam down option for purple hybrid and other decks. So it's actually seen, it was down here around 55. Now it's just shot back up. So hopefully you guys got yours before that happened. And if you have a couple copies, I'd sell it right now, because I don't think it's going to go up. I think it'll only come down. Whereas X-Antibody is at down around 65. It's continued to go down. Had a little bump there, but I think it will continue to go down. I think it'll come under $60, but it probably stay up pretty high for the alt there still. So good value for anyone who bought boxes and pulled this, like me, because I pulled 2 copies. So that was good. Dynamon has actually seen a little bit of a spike, and what I've heard is this is a better option for people who are playing Galaxy deck than the Apollomon. I know Apollomon's nice because he is an actual light claw or night fang, night claw. But this guy, I think, fortitude and stuff like that, and the opponent's turn is a better option. So I think people are going to be playing this in Galaxy over Apollomon. So I think that's why you've seen a bit of a spike there. It was down and it's come back up because now that's still a really ridiculous deck, and they haven't done any type of ban list. So yeah. Getting on to some of the hype train cards, Dino B is still looking ridiculous. $42 is the cheapest one on this platform. Market price is a lot lower, but most recent sales $50. So enjoy your Imperial Dramon hype train. Dino B, you could have got this when it was $8 at BT16. Should have known it would be good. Like they don't just make partition cards to be bad, and like all of them are good in their own way. And as we get more support for the various decks that use the partition cards in it, they're only going to get better. And of course, Dragon Mode from EX3 as an alternative Dragon Mode is still the only real hype trade card for the deck. The fighter mode's not really doing that. It's like $14, but it hasn't really changed. It's kind of stayed the same. This card's gone up here. It was $5. Now it's doubled its price. Still not that bad for the alt, but you do have to find copies of it. So, and as it starts to sell, 14, 18, this could see a buyout. So if you haven't got your copies yet, I'd get them right now because it's only going to get worse. Kazuhamon's another one that I think is going to get worse because this is a Taomon loop. It's going to be very prevalent, I believe, in the next format. If the Japanese meta has anything to show us or anything like any similarities, it's going to be prevalent. You see there was a spike already here. It's kind of cooled off a little bit. So it's cooled back off, not as much as the $20 that it used to be, but it's you got your 23, 25 right there. So you got lots of copies out there. So I don't see the price jumping up quite a bit, but again, if this people start getting on the Taomon loop train, I could see this at $30 in no time. So I think right now is probably a decent place to buy. Gallantmon Crimson modes. Gallantmon's going to be a thing. Once we get more tournaments in, more practice, I really think it's going to be a thing. And so Crimson mode's kind of spiked here, back up. It's almost as bad as like Paladin mode and what's the other one? Paladin mode's like the one I think of in general, but yeah, it's pretty awful. So this one's gone up, and as well you have the Gallantmon, the Rush Gallantmon, which is being used in Purple Hybrid, which is being used in Gallantmon. That one's continued to climb. The other version of this card is only about like $27.30 for the regular secret, but that's still pretty bad considering if you need multi of them for Gallantmon. Still pretty pricey card. So definitely if you have these, I would sell them now. $80. And then of course we got Takados here. They're both looking pretty pricey here. You got your EX2, you got your BT17. This one people are playing one of until we get the new Takado out of BT19 out of 2.5. So it's probably going to go down, but because no one's going to play it. But these two are the main focus. Getting onto more hype, Violet is still nuts. Violet's still $50 to $60. And with the new Liberator issues with Necromon and just the waifu hype, I don't think she's going anywhere anytime soon. I think she's staying there. Yuki's also seen a bit of a, with the new heavy Maldramon stuff, it's seen a bit of a spike here. It was down around $14. Now we're back up to $22. So if you're thinking about heavy metal Dramon, you're going to have to spend a little bit more money on Yuki's. But I don't think it'll go up too much more than this. There's lots of copies on the market. We have Heavy Metal Dramon himself. He's seen a bit of a spike here. He's went up a little bit here around the release of EX8, which I don't think had anything to do with it. Again, it was just the hype for 2.5, and it's kind of leveling off right now. It was down there around like, oh gosh. I mean, it's only gone up a little bit, a few bucks, but I mean, like, it was around 15 probably, and now it's, you know, closer to 20. But sales, the lowest one we have is 24. So yeah, this is a really good card. And yeah, you're gonna have probably this and the new Ace version in there. So that's you gotta watch out for that. Metal Seedramon Ace. I was hoping this card would see a bit of a spike and the low pull rate because of Gigadramon. But it's pretty low. It's getting low. It was like the $27, $30 alt, and now it's, you know, it's getting down there, 15 bucks. So it's dropped pretty fast, and so I'm not sure really if there's going to be a hype train for this. It doesn't seem like it. I haven't really paid attention to the Gigamon deck, so I don't know if it's popular. We're going to look at the Omnimon page. We do see some price hikes in Omnimons here. I think this is the most common. This guy's seen a bit of a price hike. You can see it kind of went up there here. It's kind of cooling off now, but yeah, put it over $50 from, you know, back around 30. So it's definitely quite an increase here. And the other one I was thinking about was really haven't seen anything too bad, but I think this guy's actually cooled off quite a bit. The Omnimon Ace. I don't know which one's going to be good for the new Omnimon deck. You know, Omnimon X-Antibody is a secret in the next set, so I'm not sure if maybe the other one's a better version. I figured the Ace would be an easier deck to get it into, so I mean, I don't know if that is the case, then this is probably the one you want to go for. This is one you want to start buying right now while it is cheaper. But yeah, that's for the Omnimons. Jessmon, we've seen increases to the Jessmon cards. The BT13 one had a bit of a spike here, putting it up closer to $30, but it's kind of cooling off right now. And same with Jessmon X-Antibody, had a bit of a spike, and it's kind of cooling off as well. We're getting new Jessmon X-Antibody cards, so I'm not sure, you know, I'm not sure which cards you're still going to see play in this new variant that's coming out in 2.5. So you gotta watch out for that. As well, we have Shoto. Shoto's still looking all over the place based on this, but we're getting new Zeffigamon Sport too. So it's still a pricey $30 card. Lots of copies there, so I don't see it going down or up really too much. But still a pricey card, especially with the new Shoto being able to play other Shotos for free. Most likely, you know, this is the one, right? Terramon also, you see Terramons are still pretty cheap, but you see like even this one, the EX1, the alternate, it's starting to climb a bit because of the hype for Zeffigamon. So you got to watch out for that. But still pretty cheap, so I'd pick him up. Same with Zeffigamon from EX7 potentially. You know, he's kind of seen a little bit of an increase and he's leveling off here. Still pretty cheap. So, I mean, I'm not sure which Zeffigamons are going to get played with the new Ace version. So maybe that's worth a look to see if you want to pick up a couple copies of this while it's nice and cheap before it has any more kind of increases. Alphamon, again, we're getting new Alphamon support. So that's seeing an increase as well. So we got Alphamon here. It's definitely up from where it used to be. Or actually it's down. My bad. I thought it went up, but it's gone down, the BT13 Alphamon, quite a bit. So that's not one that's getting much hype. I'm not sure, again, which Alphamons are going to get played comparatively. I believe this one had a bit of a spike there in December and then went back down. I'm not sure if any of the old Alphamon stuff is going to get played, but if it is right now, prices aren't terrible on a lot of the stuff, on the Alphamon stuff. So, pick yourself up some copies. Eximon's another one here. The Eximon, we're getting new Eximon support, so we're seeing increases to Eximons here, seeing quite a bit of increase to the EX3 one, and a little bit of a bump to the BT13 one, which really wasn't much, but it was like, but still seeing a bit of a bump here. So your Eximon cards are going up, so if that's a deck you're looking into, just keep an eye on the prices there. Dracomon, again, you got your Searcher, it's seeing an increase, quite an increase here. But it's coming back down, so that's, you know, it's just the hype train, right? And then of course Fenrir as well is, you know, see here it's getting the Ace card as well, so it's seeing a bit of a spike, I think, hype wise, and the deck is still good, it's still meta relevant and stuff like that, so it'll be interesting to see what happens. It's not as high as it was, you know, back in December, but definitely just picking it back up right now. And then of course if that happens, he's starting to see him have a gradual incline here, the little Lugamon doggy. So it's seeing, you know, 26, and then now it's over 30, and it could be up around 40. You know, lowest, this card will be over 40. People love this card. So that is the hype train for 2.5. We're gonna have the 2.5 points list coming out because they just finally released the details. So stay tuned for all that, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the market analysis. As always, we try to, you know, make them brief, as well as give you guys the best information possible to make your choices of what you're going to buy, what you're going to sell. But there's a lot of stuff happening. There's a lot in 2.5, a lot of decks in 2.5. So there's a lot of hype for that, as well as, you know, we're still trying to experience that EX8 format where we kind of figure out what's going to be good, what's going to be meta. Like, is Gallantmon going to take this format by storm, or is it going to be next format? We're going to have a really interesting format, I really feel. You know, right now on our way into 2.5, there's going to be a lot of change ups, and I still think we need a ban list or restricted list like now to kind of limit some of those older decks that just continue to do things. So we'll continue to bring you guys the market analysis. We got deck profiles coming up on the channel. I have one today, as well as having, you know, a bunch more coming out in the future. But looks like that's all the time we have for this video. Thank you very much for tuning in, and hope to see you in the next video. As always, have a wonderful day. And that's all for now, folks.